You might be wondering, why am I having a traditional teapot and a gramophone by the side of me, whereas my outfit doesn't look so traditional? Welcome to Mindful Contract Administrator. Today, I'm going to try and explain to you how adding a spice into such traditions will change your life if it is appropriately used. Today, I'm going to talk about a variation to the traditional procurement method which has been in existence in UK and many other countries over centuries. Traditional procurement method is no doubt the most famous method of procurement. So when I talk about procurement, you might have wondered what this procurement means. Procurement is the overall process from inception to completion of a project, wherein the developer acquires goods and services. This is somewhat different from tendering. You need to understand the difference between tendering and procurement. As I have told you, procurement is an overall process. Tendering is at the interim of that procurement process, wherein you concentrate on two things. Number one, tendering for a contractor. Number two, selection of a contractor. Now, coming back to the traditional procurement method, I will give you a real life example as to how the traditional sequential procurement is changing to the traditional accelerated method, which is somewhat of a different scenario which we are going to adapt. As you are aware, most of the countries during this lockdown situation allows you to do one form of an exercise because they identified the fact that investing your time in an exercise is not wasted. It will help boost your immunity. It will help you live longer and healthy life. Likewise, any investor or a developer is very much interested in investing smartly in order to get the timely outcome of their investment. As you are aware, any procurement method has to satisfy the requirement of a developer. Number one, time. Number two, cost. Number three, quality. Now, in the modern era, we have added a fourth element into this one, which is called sustainability. So how time, cost, quality and sustainability can be managed? Can we have an equilibrium of all these four factors by choosing the procurement method which is suitable for the situation? Imagine that you wanted to go for a walk or a run for 5 kilometers for the same reason which I have told you, to help boost your immunity or to keep you healthy. There are various ways and means that you can go through this particular 5 kilometer span. Either you can run or either you can walk, right? But if you are walking slowly, the health experts have identified if you are walking in a very leisurely manner, it will not give you the desired outcomes. So you have to walk a little bit faster. Running? Yes, running is much more better, but there may be repercussions, there may be outcomes, there may be downsides of adopting these two types of exercises. I will explain you. Now, traditional procurement method, or we can call it traditional sequential procurement method, is a very conservative approach wherein you wait until the designer finishes all the design and then you select the contractor and then you allow the contractor to execute the works pertaining to the design. Traditional accelerated method is somewhat different. What it intends to do is to leave a little portion of the design for the contractor to help out with, so that you are getting his expertise, you're getting his involvement, in part of the design, wherein the design and the construction runs in parallel. Because as you know that you don't need to have the full design at the inception of the project or is at the commencement of the project. Once you go through, there are certain portions of the design which you can postpone so that you can get a better result. By engaging the contractor in this sort of a traditional accelerated method allows you to save time. That is number one. Number two, the expertise of the contractor can be utilized in a productive manner in order to have value engineering options. However, there are downsides into that as well. As you are aware, during the design stage, what you mostly do is you engage a cost consultant, you engage an architect or an engineer in order to do two parallel processes. One is to get a robust design. Two is to get a cost consistent model. That means you are getting the cost certainty out of this particular design. However, in the traditional accelerated model, you leave little portion of this particular design wherein you have a little bit of a cost uncertainty, right? So because of that, sometimes you may be facing cost overruns. Quality can maybe compromised because the designer's involvement. Your reins is little bit loosened, right? So there are downsides into that as well. However, by saving time, you have an immense advantage of utilizing that particular product or that particular building or that particular facility early as possible. Now coming back to the example which I have told you, choosing running as opposed to walking is like choosing traditional accelerated method as opposed to the traditional sequential method. Because your body gets little bit of a time in order to get warm up. Then only you will start losing calories. Then only your cells are working in a proper way to lose your weight. Otherwise, if you're walking very leisurely, you know that it will not give you the desired outcomes. The traditional sequential method, which is like walking, takes little bit of a time in order for your body to get that heat, get that warm up. So this is like the longer design period. But traditional accelerated method started running from the beginning itself, give you a shorter span of design. That is a shorter span of a warm up period, right? Which will save a little bit of a time for you to start losing calories, right? And traditional accelerated method will help you to finish the project beforehand because of this advantage. However, if you are using the same shoes that you are using for the walking, for this running exercise, you may get pains in your knees because it may not be the suitable pair of shoes. Sometimes your body is not used to that form of a rigorous exercise, running. Then you will get body pains and all of a sudden you may have to stop within that you're running. So you will lose a little bit of a time as well. So these are the downsides of traditional accelerated method. Because if you rely on the contractor on completing some sort of a design, sometimes you may be stuck because the contractor's design may not be acceptable to the engineer. So there may be certain problems that you will face. However, traditional accelerated method can be used in order to add spice to traditional sequential method if the contractor or the developer thinks that the project is running with time is of the essence. That means time is much more important in order to complete it properly. I hope now you understood what is the difference between the traditional accelerated method and traditional sequential method. So wearing a t-shirt at a surrounding of traditional teapot and a gramophone will not do harm to your life. Okay, so adding a spice of little bit of innovation into a traditional procurement method will not do you harm if you do it mindfully and sensibly. Thank you.